Hello everyone, welcome to the class of Health and Physical Education, Unit 7, that is Physiology and Injuries in Sports. And today's topic we are going to learn, that is effects of exercises on respiratory system. Now we are going to learn that how does exercise affects the respiratory system. What are the changes are being brought in an individual or in an athlete by doing the exercise, how they can improve their respiratory system. So let's discuss the points. There are the various effects of the exercise on the respiratory system. So the various effects of the exercise on the respiratory system are, first of all, we are having, that is strong willpower. So by doing the exercise regularly, the willpower of an individual increases, it improves. The willpower develops when a person himself or herself is being engaged in different types of exercise by doing yogic exercise, pranayams, exercise related to the lungs, which increases the willpower of an individual or an athlete who used to perform. So here by the exercise, the strong willpower is one of the effect of the exercise on the respiratory system. The next point we are having, that it increases in the tidal air capacity. So what does the tidal air capacity means? Tidal air capacity means the amount of the air that is being breathed in and breathed out over and above the tidal air by the deepest possible inspiration or expiration respectively. Inhalation and exhalation, that is deep, which has been considered deep inhalation and exhalation. So here the tidal air capacity means the amount of the air that flows in and out of the lung in each quiet respiratory movement. Whenever we used to inhale, how much we used to inhale, how much we used to exhale. The total movement of the respiratory movement by the lungs is considered as tidal air capacity. So by doing the exercise, it also increases. So here it has been estimated that about 500 to 800 cc it increases. After doing the regular exercise, it has been noted that the tidal air capacity can be increased. It can be increased. Then we are having decrease in the rate of respiration. Now mostly what happens, that you have seen the beginner who used to start doing the exercise or who are participating in the activity. For example, if they have participated for the first time, so his rate of respiration increases. He used to go out of breath many times. So by doing the exercise, it helps in decreasing the rate of respiration. As you used to adapt the exercise or the movements, the lungs used to adapt the way of respiration, that is inspiration as well as expiration, breathe in and breathe out. So when the same individual performs the exercise daily, so his rate or her rate of respiration decreases in comparison to the earlier stage. Then fourth point we are having, that strengthens the diaphragm and muscles. Definitely by doing the exercise, because by doing the exercise it strengthens our respiratory system. So whenever you used to inhale and exhale, when it is being done in a proper way by doing the regular exercise, the diaphragm and the muscle of the chest also used to strengthen. Then we are having next point, that is avoid the second wind. Let us know what does the second wind means. The second wind means that whenever any of the athlete or a player used to go out of breath and it is too tired to continue. For example, whenever a swimmer, let us take an example of a swimmer, when they are swimming, when they are taking the freestyle, when they are going for the performing the freestyle, totally they have exhausted. Now they can't move their arms, they can't able to move their legs because they have totally been exhausted. Now second wind means if they used to if they are having a strong willpower and if they decided, no, it is only 10 meters, I have to only cover the 10 meter of the distance and I can do it, then definitely automatically the person used to perform better and he used to get a oxygen level, his oxygen level used to improve, and he used to finish the remaining portion. So second wind means the athlete when he is out of the breath and it is too tired to continue is considered second breath. So by doing the regular exercises, it avoids the second wind. It will not, the athlete or any of the person or any of the individual who is performing the activity or who is performing in the game, he is not needed the second wind, because he is having enough endurance, so he can perform it very smoothly and very well, efficiently. So for the beginner, the stage of the second wind, that is the ability to breathe freely after having been out of the breath, is indeed a crucial stage. But for the person, those who are doing the regular exercises, it is hardly felt. So those who are doing the regular exercises, they do not require the second wind, because they are well experienced athlete, do not feel it in his course of activity. So that's why the second wind is being avoided by doing the regular exercise, because by doing the regular exercise and by performing the activities, the endurance level of an individual increases, so the second wind is not needed. So it avoids the second wind. So by doing the exercise, you can avoid the second wind also. Then unused alveolus become active. So you know that there are how many alveolus in our lungs? There are more than 600 million alveolus in our lungs. When you talk about, if you used to stretch it out, it covers an entire tennis court. If you stretch that alveolus, then it used to cover the entire tennis court. So you can imagine that 600 million alveolus are there in our lungs. So many of the alveolus are such that they are unused, because we do not require. When it is being used when you are doing the regular exercise. So regular exercise activates the unused alveolus, because much amount of oxygen is required in the vigorous and prolonged exercise. Only you used to go for a walk, the person who is walking, the alveolus are not that much used as it is being used by the person who is a marathon runner or a long runner. So the person who is involved in the vigorous or prolonged exercise, so oxygen level here increases. It is only been possible with the help of the exercise or the activities in which they are being involved. The passive alveolus also becomes active. The alveolus which are unused, which are not used, that are known as an passive alveolus, they also becomes active. So here unused alveolus become active by doing the exercise. Then we are having 7th point, that it increases the endurance. Definitely the exercise also helps in improving the endurance level. So exercise performed regularly for a long period, it increases the endurance. And as we were talking about the second wind, as the person is good in having a good endurance, then he can easily avoid the second wind also. So here this endurance level is being increased by performing the activities for a longer time period without taking any rest. So those who do not perform any exercise have less endurance, they cannot continue any exercise for a longer duration, and they used to get exhausted very soon, so they will not be able to perform any other activities or exercise. So by doing the exercise, it also improves the endurance. Then we are having next point, that is increase in the residual air volume. What is residual air volume? So residual air volume is the amount of the air which is left in the lungs after exhalation. Many person, what happen, they used to exhale by doing, for example, let us take up pranayam, Bhastrika pranayam. In Bhastrika pranayam there is a total exhalation, but we can do this in the pranayam. But what about whenever we are just doing the normal activities, or we are just performing any of the activities, just we are going for a walk. If a person is going for a walk, normal, there is an inhalation and exhalation is very normal. But here, as the speed or it increases, the exhalation also increases. But still there is some of the air which is the amount of the air which is left been left in the lungs after exhalation. So that is known as a residual air volume. So if an individual performs regular exercise, his or her residual air volume also increase in comparison to the individual who are not performing the regular exercise. So here if the residual volume if increases, then definitely that is considered as an some of the extra which we are having the air in our lungs, which is being useful in performing the activities. So here it also increases the residual air volume. Then we are having increase in the size of the lungs and chest. So a person who are engaged in doing the exercise regularly, it also helps them in improving the size of the lungs, because as more and more amount of oxygen is being intaken, exhalation carbon dioxide is taken out, he inhales more amount of the air during the exercise. Consequently, what happens, the lungs which has been filled with air or with oxygen, and the chest are being exercised, and here you can find out the expansion of the lungs and chest. So after some period, the size of the lungs and chest also increases, and this is only been possible with the help of the exercise. So it is also one of the effect of the exercise on the respiratory system. Then next point we are having 10th point, that is prevention from disease. The person, those who are regularly involved in physical activities, or those who are involved in regular exercise, where the speed of the inhalation and exhalation becomes less in an individual who do not do any exercise. Here inhalation exhalation becomes low. So why they are telling that you need to perform pranayam like Bhastrika, like Kapalbhati, or you go for a brisk walk, or you go for a jogging or running? Because here what happens, the person, those who are not performing any of the exercise, so their inhalation and exhalation becomes less in an individual. The waste product starts sticking in their lungs, and with the passage of the times, their lungs used to get damaged. So that's why it is being told that you should perform, any of an individual, they should perform the exercise daily, regular basis, so that their inhalation and exhalation process can improve, and they can avoid the lungs damage. So here if they perform the exercise regularly, then they will have to inhale and exhale more air speedily. By doing so, the waste product will never stick to our lungs, and these products will come automatically, and the lungs will not be damaged. So in order to avoid, and if the lungs are not being damaged, then definitely many of the disease, you can prevent many of the diseases which are been related to the air, which are been the disease which are been coming through air. Okay, now, like we taken an example of an corona, just now it has been the pandemic COVID-19 is going on. So it has been told that the person, they are those who are the patient, those who are found positive, they are being told to perform the exercise, and they are involved in the doing exercise as well as the pranayam also. So that also improves their lungs capacity, that makes their lungs and chest more stronger, lungs muscles, diaphragm more stronger. Due to that, they can develop their immunity level. So that's why it helpful in the prevention of the many of the diseases. Then 11th point we are having that it increases in vital air capacity. Now, what is the vital air capacity? The amount of an air which an individual can inhale and exhale with the maximum effort. So when you are talking about the vital air capacity, I am having a very good example, that is Bhastrika Pranayam, where you are having a fast inhalation and exhalation with efforts, maximum efforts. So here the capacity varies from 3500 cc to 4500 cc in a normal adult. It is the sum of the tidal volume. Tidal volume, when we were talking about the residual air volume, we have also talked related to the tidal air capacity. So it is a product. Product means multiplication. So here the sum of the tidal air volume, so inspiratory reserves volume and the expiratory reserve volume, how much reserves you are having, that depends upon that. So with a regular exercise, a person's capacity may increase up to 5500 cc. So it is a sum. So here we have learned that the tidal air capacity is an amount that the air that can be breathed in and out over and above the tidal air by a deepest possible inspiration and expiration. So here increase in the vital air capacity is a sum of the tidal volume, of inspiratory reserve volume and expiratory reserve volume, that is Kumbhak Abhyantar, Bahya Kumbhak. So this we can improve with the help of the exercise. So a person's capacity may increase up to 5500 cc. So there are the various effects of the exercise on the respiratory system. Now in your syllabus, it has been asked that write down the effects of the exercise on the cardiorespiratory system. So cardiorespiratory system, you are having both the points. You can prepare the notes on the basis of this, and you can write the points from both. From the cardiovascular system, that is cardiorespiratory means the circulatory system that has been related to the cardiovascular, and the respiratory system, it is a combination of both. So with the help of this you can prepare the notes, and if you are having any doubts you can comment, you can give a message. Thank you.